Hello, you're watching Kel67 Gaming, and March is in the books now,
Yes, it is indeed.
which means only one thing.
It's time for another month in games.
So we've had another month where we've played a little bit games. We went to writing. Um,
Yeah.
Quite enjoyed that. There is a video on the channel of us going and what we did and what we got and all that kind of gear. That was a good day out.
Yeah, it was indeed.
But as far as playing at home and what we've sunk some time into, that's kind of what we're doing in this video, isn't it?
Yes.
So shall we start where we always start with what we had asked each other to play over the last month or so?
I think it'd only be right, wouldn't it?
So you picked one for me.
Yes, I did.
And it was one that actually I'd meant to play for a little while, but I never got round to. But you picked it for me, so I did have to put some time into it. I say that like it was a...
It was a chore to do.
Actually, it was
like I chose it so that you'd hate it.
yeah. Actually, it was alright. So we'll have a little bit watch of me playing Alien Isolation. This is me doing a wee bit of sneaking about. You can see that there's a lot of dark spaces here where things can just jump out and get you.
Well, that's how it's meant to be, isn't it?
Well, aye. But
It wouldn't be a survival horror if it didn't have the dark areas in
then,
it.
see, this is always a leap of faith. Going into one of these tubes, air vents, whatever you call them. You can see how dark they are. Oh, there could be xenomorphs anywhere.
Well, that's the entire point of the game, though, isn't it?
Well, it is. But actually, but like the film, this is most of the game. It's not running from xenomorphs. It's shitting yourself in case they pop up. But it's not just the xenomorphs that you have to worry about. You can see that there's somebody shooting. So they probably know that I'm here, but they haven't seen me. And this is the other big part of the game, which is scavenging. So I'll come in here and pick up what I can, because that's how you make your like medipacks and stuff.
Yeah.
And also you can see on the ground there's an ID tag, which I'm going to need to access something later on. You can see that I'm not running about here. I'm doing an awful lot of crawling and crouching and whatever else.
It means you make less noise, doesn't it?
Aye.
So.
But, I mean, it looks like Alien. That's the best thing about this game. It looks and feels like Alien.
Which is what you really want.
I mean, I never saw the pub in Alien, but I would imagine that it looks like this.
But that's what you wanted out of this game, wasn't it?
Aye, exactly. I have to say, right from the off, I kind of really got into this game because you start on a ship that is very, very much reminiscent of, in fact, I think it's an identical copy of the Nostromo of the original Alien film. The biggest compliment that I can give this game is that I at times forgot that I was playing in that horrible first person view that you know that I hate, and just like really got into exploring that initial ship. I spent more time on it than I think it's supposed to, because it is really only supposed to deliver you to the space station that's got the aliens on it. But because I love the film, I love Alien, I just spent far too much time just going around the ship, and all the bits that I remembered from the film, and it was great. I loved it. The game itself feels like Alien, which is the best thing I can say about it, because there have been so many Alien games that are just
Not
so
the same.
far wide of the mark that they shouldn't have the license on there. But this feels like Alien. Um, and you saw the little bit of footage there, that a lot of just sneaking about and trying to be quiet and not seeing anything. That's what most of the game is. It's not about jumping in against xenomorphs, all guns blazing. You don't, for a start, you don't have a gun. um, but it's about hiding in corners and in lockers and I really did enjoy my time with it. I haven't gone all the way through it, and I want to, but if anyone hasn't played it and they love the Alien franchise, this is the game that feels most like the films. So really, if you're a fan, you should be playing it. So what did I ask you to play then?
Well, you asked me to play quite a recent game in terms of release date, in the form of Metroid Dread. So here we are. This is obviously Metroid Dread, as you can see, and I'm on the second location on the map. As you can tell, just taking them out.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, I've got enough health. I've got enough health. Don't worry about it.
But surely you saw it coming. You saw it go that time. That's all right.
But just navigate my way through. See, enemies try to be sneaking. I still take them out.
Where are we going here?
Up the wall.
Oh, you've got a wall.
Yeah.
I think it's Spider-Man now, like.
Well, on one of the boss battles, I got a new power which allows me to hook onto these energy bits of the wall and that. So,
did you get hit there?
Yeah, but I managed to still make it onto the ground. Now I'll back straight over there because I know that I'll probably die trying to go through it because I don't have the right upgrades yet. So I'll need to come back there later on.
Alright, going through a wee troop here, eh?
Yep.
Lost?
Nah, just saying what my options are.
Lost? Alright, what's happening here? Is this the end of the level?
No, because not all...
Oh, I do not think you wanted to do that.
I've got a cloak ability as well. Can't see me.
Alright.
And I'll have to come back and deal with that a bit later. Now, I've actually quite enjoyed my time playing this game. I get it compared to, probably the time that you put an Alien, it doesn't seem like that much. However, I have done a decent amount in it, I would say.
And this is like a return to the
original Metroid form.
What originally Metroid was meant to be.
Yeah. Because you had the first person Metroids, didn't you?
Was that the Prime?
I think it was the Prime on
GameCube.
GameCube, and I think there was one on the Wii as well.
That probably was as well.
As well as some of the other ones, but this is the return, and I'll be honest, I really have enjoyed it. I think the fact is, obviously, the suit isn't obviously the same colour, but I think you can kind of overlook that, can't you, when playing it?
Well, it's a new game, so
yeah.
New suit, that's
makes
acceptable.
Sense. But I quite like the idea of, to progress, obviously, you have to face each boss in the area. So, like, I think there was like 2 or 3 in the first area, and I got my 2 abilities there, because the first one was just like sort of a somewhat
and that's the thing about Metroid, it's like you get so far and then it unlocks areas that you've previously passed that you couldn't get to in the first place.
It's like, I remember there was doors which I couldn't use, but then I got my cloak ability and then I could, because obviously there was sensor doors, so like if you got near it, it would close automatically, but if you cloak, you move slowly, but you get through it and you can go through it into the next area. I still need to get, I think, a thermal suit or one which will protect me from like extreme heat, because there's so many areas in the current area which I'm in which have them, so I kind of need to. I'm guessing it's probably going to be in the little area which I ended off my little short clip of gameplay on. I'm probably going to guess it's there. I need to defeat that little robot and then I'll probably get it.
So you're going to do that? You're going to play through it?
I'll hopefully find the time and I will do it. Because I say it all the time that I love these games that I've been playing and that I want to finish them. Just I never ever get around to it because I always start new games, I always want to finish new games, and then I never get around to finishing pretty much any of them.
Well, what we can do is we can just stop buying games. That would be alright.
Probably would until
the end of time.
Complete the back catalogue of games that we've got. So.
Well, I hope you do keep playing it because it looks like a decent game.
It is. It's a really good one.
See what else have we played this month. I actually, because a lot of my gaming time is on my commute to work, I don't play Switch. I occasionally play Vita or PSP, but I do play DS. And I played the 3D remake of Final Fantasy IV. I do like the DS when I'm travelling back and forward to work.
That's a handy little system, isn't it?
And this is obviously a remake, so you haven't got like the sprite graphics. You've got polygonal 3D. Imagine that. And you can also tell that I'm quite a way into here because Cecil's become a paladin. He's not the Dark Knight anymore. Not that he was ever Batman, but you know.
Yeah.
He's fighting a bat. He's not kicking its ass very well, but Yang will take it out because Yang's awesome. There you go. You can see that I've got this dungeon that I'm in. You can't bring metal weapons into here. It's a nightmare. There you go. The old fella, I'll just set him on fire. Job done. So, I believe Final Fantasy IV, I don't know if it was in the whole of the West, because I never was into Final Fantasy this early, but certainly in America I think it was known as, that's not a Final Fantasy game, that doesn't even exist. But it should have, they should have put all the Final Fantasy games over the West, even back then. Although I can say nothing because I wasn't playing them. But this being the 3D remake, obviously the graphics is a lot more. Well, actually, I don't know if it is more user friendly because the pixel art of the original game is pretty nice. But for me, it hits the nostalgia button for the original PlayStation because it's that kind of style of graphics. The game itself is Final Fantasy.
You know what you're getting into when you start off the game.
It's Final Fantasy, but it's Final Fantasy pre-Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII seemed to change everything because before Final Fantasy VII they were kind of more based in sort of a medieval setting or something, you know.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of job based in that kind of thing. Final Fantasy VII hit, and then everything was steampunk sci-fi. Well, it was, but this is like one of the older ones. I really, really like the setting. I like the characters. Even if your hero's called Cecil, who thought that was a good idea? No, give him a nice name. Don't call him Bucking Cecil. But anyway, he's called Cecil, and he's
live with this at the end of the day, haven't you?
Huh?
You've got to live with that, haven't you?
And because this is like unlike the original, right? See the original on the SNES, or was it on the NES? I can't remember.
No, I think it was SNES.
I think it was the SNES. The original, you could rename your character, but because there's voice acting in this one, you're stuck with bloody Cecil all the way through. Not good, not good. The game's brilliant, and I've really enjoyed it. There's things that I don't remember Final Fantasy ever going back to that they really should. Not all the time, shouldn't overdo it, but there's one fight that you get into that the only way to win the fight is to never attack. I know it sounds really stupid,
Yeah.
so counterintuitive, but the only way to win the fight is to not ever attack. Love that. And you saw the dungeon that I was in there. If you've got any metal weapons or armor, you go into the dungeon and you just die because there's the story thing is like there's a magnetic field in the dungeon that paralyzes you if you've got any metal weapons or armor. So you have to take all your best equipment off yourself to go into the hardest dungeon that you've been in so far.
Yeah.
That it's like giving you that level of difficulty without just flat out saying you're doing too well. Here's a curveball, you know.
Yeah, which kind of in a way is quite innovative in a way.
Well, it is, and it means that you can have a boss that really gives you a challenge without it being cheap.
Yeah, which is typically when games try to up a difficulty, they make it seem cheap, don't they?
So I don't know what kind of price this game goes for, but I think everyone in the world's got at least 5 DSs. Is that about accurate, would you say? Maybe 6? 6 DSs? Or just the 5?
Probably about the 5.
Just the 5. So if you haven't got this version of Final Fantasy 4, I think it's well worth it. It's a good enough improvement on the original SNES game to make it worth playing again if you've already played the game on the SNES. Go out and get it, it's brilliant. So what else have you been playing?
Well, kind of sticking on this little theme of Final Fantasy, I did go and actually play one myself. I went and played the remastered version of Final Fantasy VII. So here we are. This is obviously Final Fantasy VII.
See, I tried to get you to play this once before, and you never really did. I mean, you played a wee bit yet. You played through Midgar a bit.
I think on the PS Mini, I played all the way through the starting bit, which is Midgar, and then stopped.
You did play the remake.
I played the remake all the way through to where it ends at the moment. But
Is that why we're going back to it, because we like the remake?
Well, I think if I remember correctly, I quite liked playing on the PS Mini. Just I never went back to it for some reason, but I'm here playing it back on the Xbox.
You're playing not the remake, but the remaster.
Yeah, this is the remaster on the Xbox.
Is this what it is? Did you just not like the not quite so pretty graphics on the PS1?
Well, they're not so pretty here either, are they?
Compared to the PS1, they are.
No, to be honest, if I was up for pretty graphics, I would just replay through the remake one. No?
Well, no, because it isn't finished yet. You're like the remake's only taking you to the end of Midgar, so you've still got like 90% of the game to play, haven't you?
Yeah. But this is obviously past Midgar, isn't it? So
that's on the ship, isn't it?
Yeah, this is on the cargo ship. But I kind of need to get Tifa healed up a bit, don't I?
Just take it out.
You'll go a quick limit break.
No bad.
And it's done. Well, Actually, I've quite enjoyed my time with it, and again, I probably haven't sunk a lot of time into it at the moment. I'm probably around the 10 hour mark or something like
For a
that.
lot of people, this is their favourite Final Fantasy. Not for me personally, you know that
Yeah,
mine's the
yours
one
is
after.
8. Yours is 8. But I absolutely love the game.
How do you think it stacks up against the other Final Fantasy games that you've played?
Well,
You haven't actually played that many, but you have played a couple.
I've played a couple, but most of the ones which I have played are the more open combat instead of turn based. So
The shit ones.
pretty much. So I don't know if I can really give a fair comparison in that sense. So really, I don't know where I would probably rank it, because obviously the ones which I've played is the likes of 13 and 15 and the remake of 7, which are all open combat and stuff like
I
that.
think that it's strange for you to be playing this game in so much as when it first came out, when I first played it, like on release day back in '97, whatever it was, this game was just visually blew your mind, and the size and scope of the game was just bigger than anything that you had seen before. But it's not anymore.
No.
Without the nostalgia goggles, is there enough to keep you going?
Yeah, actually, just from playing it, I really want to finish it. I'll be perfectly honest.
Well, make sure you do.
I know.
It's definitely worth finishing.
I need to finish it, because this is technically my second or third potentially time of trying to play through it.
No.
So I think I kind of need to at this point, don't I? I've started it quite a few times now, and I kind of need to finish
You
it.
do need to finish it.
So-
You need to start finishing games
And
in general.
I need to finish the games which I start, because I start too many and don't finish enough. So-
Exactly.
Hopefully this one will be added to the finished game pile that is kind of really small compared to the started game pile.
Well, we'll see. So you played that. What else have I played this month? I actually played is it a remastered game, or is it just a reissued game? Simply for the love of cash. I played I think it's officially called a remaster of GTA Vice City. This is a funny GTA game because
It's not new, but it technically somewhat
oh no,
is.
I'm not. It's like I've never really liked Vice City.
So
You see,
why
I
did you play it?
shot him off his bike there. Because I've never really played it all. Well, I've not never really. I've never played it all the way through. I'm not a huge fan of the map on it, and I don't know what it is. I think it's the whole Miami setting, because I'm not really a huge fan of the map on Scarface either. Although I love that game more than I love this. Go figure.
No, it's probably because of the characters and
Probably.
story and that, isn't it?
Oh, you see how I managed to keep a hold of that, even though I got tail spun. Oh, look at that! Proper bike control there. Just get you a quick zoom in on that bush so you can see how better the graphics are. And I think I missed my turn in there.
Yeah, I think you might just have.
It's all right.
Gonna crash?
I'm not very good at it. I don't like the motorbikes anyway, but they do spin far too easy. Look at that, lovely wee jump. I should actually just went straight forward there. I don't know why I followed the guide marker, because that's stupid. Go the right way instead of the way that it tells you to go. You can see how badly that breaks as well. The cars are much better for controlling in this game. There you go. Mission completed. So Vice City, the game that everyone loves, that
Except for you.
I just never have. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good, solid GTA game. I don't like the map.
Well, it's a common occurrence, as I think you kind of alluded to, during obviously gameplay.
I don't like the
It's
Scarface
Miami.
map, but like you say, probably because like I love the Scarface film, I love the Scarface game, even though I hate the map.
I think
Vice City map's probably better than that. It's a better representation of Miami for playing a game.
But you can't technically overlook the fact that it's still Miami because there's not that lovable character that you love. And
You mean Crockett, or do you mean Tubbs?
No.
Blank face. Oh, everyone in the comments, please tell him what Miami Vice is. He hasn't got a clue.
No, I don't.
Oh, that tune by Jan Hammer. Oh, no, see, completely blank. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Don't start that.
See, this is why Vice City would be completely lost on you as a game. Not because you would just look at it as a technical exercise with the map's not as good as like San Andreas or do you know what I mean? But you also wouldn't get all the references to Miami Vice and stuff like that. So for the love of God, don't you play it.
No. To be fair, I do have a GTA from the definitive edition, which I need to be playing again the form of San Andreas.
You need to finish San Andreas. But actually, do you know, it's not an unenjoyable game. I just think it seems small, especially compared to San Andreas. But actually, it seems small compared to even GTA 3, because even though I think technically the map's bigger, because New York's more dense, it seems bigger as you're going around it. But I've played it. I haven't played it all the way through. I don't think I will play it all the way through.
Well, I don't think you will anyways.
Not least because I'm playing it on PS now, and it's timed, and I'm not putting every waking hour that I'm putting in.
It's literally I think got a month left.
Well, it's not getting completed. But I do have the PS2 version of it, so if I want to go back to it, I can.
Well, to be fair, we've got the original versions of all three in the definitive edition.
I mean, we've got all the GTA games somewhere. So that was another remastered game that I've played. Do you play anything else?
I've played one more game this month, and I get it. And for some reason, I don't play as much as you. Even though I should.
You should, because you've got more time.
I've got more time. But a game that I've really sunk a lot of time into, which is probably when most of my months went, let's be honest, is quite a recent game, I think. I don't think it actually released that long ago, but it definitely didn't release too long ago on Xbox Game Pass, because I've been playing Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy.
You played an awful lot of this, haven't you?
Yes, pretty much. But I've completed it now, so.
No, you have.
But this is towards the end of the game, so. But no, it's an amazing game. I'll be perfectly honest. So.
You haven't played Avengers though, have you? I think it is the same engine, isn't it?
I'm not quite sure because obviously I haven't played it, but yeah, just seeing it on the Xbox and thought might as well play it. So
what's this smashing your pals over the head with a gun?
Well, because they're frozen. So
you're pistol whipping them.
No, because they're frozen at that moment in time, it unfreezes them so that they can get back into combat and do the powers. So pretty much is that I can inflict more damage.
What the hell's all that on the screen?
That's Rocket, isn't it?
I thought he was Toty. What's all that crap?
There he is. It's his mechanics, isn't it, that he's made?
Can't help thinking that that's a wee bit cheating.
No.
Because he couldn't carry that.
Yes, he can. As I think you've seen, he can indeed. But, no. The thing is, obviously, I think in Marvel Avengers you can play as different characters, can't you, though?
Well, you do from time to time. I think you're mainly the new character, aren't you?
Whereas in this one, you own the ever Star-Lord. So...
well, that's like in Marvel Adventures, you're mainly just the new character. His name escapes me at the moment. But you liked it though.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing game.
See, I've never played this. I did actually plan to play it, and when I downloaded it, you just jumped in straight away and started playing it. But I'm not sure if I'd love it as much, because I played Avengers. This is like the Guardians of the Galaxy version of Avengers, isn't it? It's like the same engine and all the rest of it. And I didn't really get into it. But
I really have.
you really have.
I don't know what it is, but I've just absolutely adored playing through the entire game. Because, as I say, I have finished it as well.
I think stylistically, like watching you play it, but again, you don't get this. Stylistically, I like it more than Avengers because it's the the, the battle that we saw you play through and win there. In the background, flock of seagulls singing "Iran." Oh, brilliant, excellent. You don't know what that is. You don't remember the silly haircut. And then, like the very final boss that you get Europe, the final countdown,
I know.
which you just think is Brian Danielson's theme song.
Don't start that. No, I don't. But no, touching on the soundtrack, it's actually a really good soundtrack, and quite a lot of songs that even I recognised as well, because you had Barracuda in there, you had.
But you recognise them from other games. You don't recognise them from the songs.
One that you can't dispute that I just recognise normally. Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley's in there.
You get Rickrolled in it, aye.
Yeah.
See, you're even too young to know what a Rickroll is.
But it's just one of those things where the thing is you don't actually get to hear the soundtrack all the time. You only get it after you do a huddle, or when you learn up the game. They're the two instances, or potentially in some of the cutscenes. And that's what I like, because you only ever get them in certain instances if you're doing well enough. But just an absolutely amazing game, which I would recommend to anyone who actually owns Game Pass.
I think I might actually try and play through it myself.
You need to. It's an amazing game.
Yeah. So you did play that. What else did I play? Speaking of Game Pass, there's a game came. I wouldn't have bought it. Way back in the 80s, there was a demo disc on your Sinclair that had a game, and it was a joke game. But it did exist, it's a thing. You can look it up on YouTube, I'm sure you'll see it. That appears to be remade for real. Lawn mowing simulator. So you can see I've really turned up the action and excitement level here for this one. Watch how well I just completely mow this little bit here. Oh, see the long grass there? That's toast. Did you see the beauty of that little 3-point turn there? Oh, unbelievable game. It's like the most action-packed game of the year so far. Look at that. Objective complete.
It's only took you half an hour.
You can't rush perfection. You just got to sneak through all these floors without
damaging any of them.
Without mulching them into mincemeat. There you go, not a problem at all. Get my mower up onto the old trailer there, and we'll get off, and we'll be ready for the next job. Well, we'll have to maintain the mower first, but you know. Look at the good job I've done there. Don't you just wish that was your garden? I know what you've got to say you mow a lawn. You mow lawns, right? But actually, it's quite a surprisingly deep management sim where you've got to buy equipment, got to hire staff, you've got to balance the books. You've got to make sure that all your equipment's well maintained. You can afford to buy the petrol to make the thing go round. The whole premise of it is a little bit daft. It's a game about mowing lawns, but everything behind that is surprisingly deep. and and even like the whole thing about mowing the lawns, I think you said there that it took half an hour along that to mow that lawn.
It took you just under half an hour to mow a lawn.
Do you know what? You come in from work and you just want to sit and like turn your brain off. It works. I can't explain it. A lot of these simulator games, you don't really get them. I remember when I was playing like Train Driver Simulator, and you're like, what's that?
And what's the point in mowing a lawn for half an hour?
There's Farming Simulator as well. Huge.
No, Farming Simulator is different. That's a good game.
What's the difference between mowing a lawn and dropping seeds in a field? You're doing the same thing. You're going up and down. It's the same principle. It's a management sim more than it is what you're actually doing. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's the greatest game that there's ever been, because quite clearly not.
It's really not.
But don't knock it and have a go at it. If it's on Game Pass, what you got to lose? Have a go, see if you can get into the management side of it, and it's cool. I like it. But it's, well, as I was saying, that it's done up. But probably will keep playing it.
Just don't ask me to play next month.
Just the whole thing about building your business up. You haven't played anything else, have you?
No.
Well, you haven't put any real time in anything else.
I mean, I've played little bits and bobs, but not enough to warrant including in this video. As I say, probably most of my time did go to Guardians of the Galaxy, finishing that off. So.
Well, I did play one more game, quite a bit. It's a game I play every year. Played Madden 22. Super Bowl time again.
Well, it's a yearly thing for you to be playing the most recent Madden, isn't it?
And I'm playing the Jets this year because they're shite. Oh, look at the way that my running back just broke through there. And I'll just take the piss and take a wee roll there at the end. Oh, I'm good. This was the next drive. See, Zach Wilson picks the ball up. Oh, straight in there, no problem at all. That'll be another touchdown. You wouldn't tell by watching this footage that the Jets are absolutely the shittest team in the world ever. But there you go. Super Bowl, baby. I don't know what the close-up on the feet is there. I don't think there was any doubt that he was in the end zone. You see your final score, 28-3. I mean, I didn't just win. A proper one. Look, not even Zach Wilson can believe it. There's a silly dancing. Where's my trophy? Just show me my trophy. That's all I want. It's the only reason I play it every year.
What, to see the trophy lift?
Aye. To see the worst team on the game lift the trophy. How's he holding him up? Because he hasn't got a very good grip on him. There we go. Vince Lombardi there. Why are you walking past Zach Wilson? Give him it. There you go. So that's Madden done for another year.
It'll be next year before you play it again.
It will be, aye. So I play this game every year, and every year I seem to play it as like the worst team that I can find on the game. This year it was the New York Jets, and you can see that I still won the Super Bowl. For that reason and that reason alone, it's not a game that I would ever suggest that you play if you're into American football. It's too easy.
Well,
But for me, that just plays one season once a year, I get my American football fix and I quite like it. Graphically, it's brilliant, as you saw.
well, to be fair, sports games on obviously the most recent generation of consoles typically don't actually look that bad. They do quite look good.
But Madden suffers from the same as FIFA, which we talked about last
It's just
week.
the same thing year after year, really.
So I say I played Madden 22.
You've
But
been playing Madden 15
In
or something.
reality, I played like Madden 03 because it's exactly this. It's never changed apart from a little bit more shine on the graphics.
Well, let's be honest. What more can you really do with a sports game?
You could try, like mixing up the plays and
Yeah.
not have it exactly the same. Although I guess people play it year on year. The reason that I play it so late because obviously Super Bowl was January, which is actually when I started playing it. Didn't put in monthly games last year.
And
but,
none of the teams
last-
that were in your
last
Super
month.
Bowl
Um,
were actually.
Well, aye, but I didn't put in our monthly games last month because I knew I was going to finish it, which I did. And the reason that I play it late after the Super Bowl is because I play it on EA Play. I would never
Paid 50.
50.
Sorry, 50 if you want it on the Xbox One. 70 if you want it on the Series X.
70 quid.
Yeah, no.
And they want to sell you that same game year after year for 70 quid. And what they also want you to do is spend an additional $5,000 on virtual cards that they'll take away from you after a few months so you can buy them again. Ugh. That's the scummy part that I don't like. I would prefer to see
Just
like one FIFA, one Madden, one NHL, whatever it is, maybe
and just
like
do
a
what?
new base game, maybe once every 5 or 6 years when they've got something new to do, and then just
Constantly update the squads and that.
like
And the
it's going to be like maximum a 100 megabyte patch to change the players onto the teams. It shouldn't be a £70 game every year just to change the players onto the right teams. But it is what it is. See, that sounds like I'm really shitting on the game. I quite enjoyed playing it, but I'm not blind to the fact that it's the same game that I played last year,
Yeah.
and the same game that I played the year before, and the same game that I played the year before. But I'm quite resolute in the fact that I have never paid for a Madden game since I think I've got Madden 10 physically.
Well, we'll probably pick one of them up after.
No,
It's not a full-
possibly.
You haven't paid full price for one
No.
in ages.
No, absolutely not, and I wouldn't. But that's it for this month. That's everything that we've played, which means that we've got one thing left to do
Yes.
before the end of this video, and that is to pick a game for each other that we're going to ask each other to play over the next month. Who do you want to go first?
What have you chosen for me?
I have nothing beside me to pick up because the game that I've chosen for you, we actually have digitally because it's on PlayStation Now. This could backfire badly when PlayStation Game Pass comes out because that's like imminent, and if this doesn't make the cut for the games that's going to be on it, you might not get to play much of it. But
So I better start playing it soon
You better
and
play-
better start playing it a lot. Pretty much.
exactly, I would like you to play Tokyo Xanadu because I think you'll love it.
Well, I guess I can't really say if I will or not until I've at least tried it.
Well, we'll see. I think you'll absolutely love it. I think it's very much like games that you like. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm playing a game that I've chosen for you. Once again, it's a digital game that we've got, not physically. One that you have started already, but I don't think you've put a lot of time into. For you, I've chosen Edge of Eternity.
All right, you're right. I have started it, but I really have just started it.
Yeah.
So far, it seemed okay. So hopefully, it is as good a game as as it appears to be on first impressions. So you know what we're going to play, or at least one game that we're each going to play over the next month or so, which means that's wrapped it up for this video.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next time, but in the meantime, if you haven't
already, give us a like, a share and a subscribe, and turn the notification bell so you're going to find out when we upload, and we will see you in the next video.